Welcome to ClusterCast, going it alone together. I'm Kevin, founder of the Cluster co-working and event space in Summertown, mostly winging it with enthusiasm, questionable choices and industrial strength imposter syndrome. After starting my business solo, the advice of other going it alone entrepreneurs kept me sane, so I'm chatting to Oxford's indie business heroes. It's cheaper than therapy and far more fun. Join me as we trade stories, compare battle scars and revel in the joyful chaos of building something from nothing, together, even when we pretend we're doing it alone. So we are now on episode 5 of the ClusterCast, and I've invited another, I like to call you a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
unsure
about.
at that point. Yeah, maybe. And we're interviewing lots of different people. Well, I'm interviewing lots of different people who have set up their own businesses, who have been in other businesses and then decided to branch out and set up their own businesses. And really this podcast is predominantly helping other people to understand on a human level what's involved and what the pinch points are and what the difficulties are and also what the joys are, right? Because there are a few.
There's a few.
There definitely are a few. So today I've got Rebecca Galligan here from Rebecca's Home Sort, and we're going to find out all about it today, which I'm really excited about, because primarily I need you to sort out my home. So a series of 6 questions, all pretty straightforward, hopefully, with a slightly random one at the end. So my first question really, it's the same for everybody. What was the moment you thought, I'm going to leave what I'm doing and I'm going to step into Rebecca's Home Sort? Because it's not a natural progression for most people. So I'm really intrigued to know how that came about and also why it came about, I suppose.
Okay. How long have you got?
As long as you like.
My background is not home organisation or interiors. I actually worked in brands and marketing previously and spent 15 years in the toy industry at a large toy manufacturer. And I loved it there. It was amazing, but busy, chaotic, high stress, lots of travel. And I went on maternity leave with my son in 2018, planned to take 12 months off with him and then go back. And long story short, I never went back.
Okay.
So it was while I was on maternity leave with Tian that I took redundancy. But at that point, I had no idea
What you were going to do.
what I was going to do.
Wow. That's a leap.
It was. I mean, yeah, I guess it was. But I always feel like when I've spoken to friends who started their own businesses or are starting, I don't always like this term, but a side hustle alongside their, and they're like, oh, but you did it and it was so brave. Well, I didn't really. If I'd have gone back to Mattel, been working full time, would it have ever happened? Possibly not. Would I have had the guts to take the leap? Whereas I feel everything sort of, the stars aligned and things happened organically.
You need that sort of push, don't you, sometimes?
For me. Yeah. And the longer I was off with my son, the less I wanted to go back. And when redundancy was an option, it just made sense. So my short-term plan was to take another year at home with him,
I say a break. You were looking after
just a mum at home. Hardest job I've ever done.
Just a newborn baby. Nothing easy there.
So spent an extra year with him, and during that time, actually, as part of my package, I had a careers coach, but I didn't ask for help with the traditional things like CV, LinkedIn, interview practice. Yeah. I knew I didn't really want to go back to corporate, and I quite liked the idea of doing something for myself, but I didn't know what. Yeah. Possibly marketing, consulting, brand, because that was my background. But also I was open to other things. So I did all these courses on personal branding and, freelancing, becoming a sole trader, blah, blah, blah.
God, you really put the work in.
But that was all in 2019. And I only launched HomeSort at the end of 2021, because then fast forward, we had our daughter just before lockdown, and then we had lockdown. Yeah. And so the way I describe it is I had an inadvertent 4-year career break. But then as we got towards the end of 2021, I knew I had to do something. Yeah. And we had spent a lot of time in our homes during that time, as everyone had, housebound.
Far too much time.
We'd also gone from sort of 2 of us to a family of 4, and I'd done a lot of decluttering, throwing stuff out. I've always been that way inclined, but a lot of zoning, sorting to accommodate stuff.
2 small children.
2 small children.
They come with a lot of baggage.
And I just love that sort of thing. I always have. I've always loved interior design. I've always been OCD, neat freak. And I thought, why don't I
can do this. Yeah.
I love it. I'm good at it. I could do this for
So
other people.
it wasn't a light bulb moment because you'd already you'd sort of looked into other paths and gone down the familiar route, I suppose.
Yeah,
give or take.
I've still got it at home somewhere. I've got a notepad from 2019. I'm not into journaling or anything like that, but I had been jotting down things I'd learned on these courses, ideas, and from brand consulting, marketing, or contracting for other organisations to do I do a virtual PA sort of role because I'm really organised, I like making lists, and the sort of home sorting or organising, and it was autumn 2021, and it was just around the time that Stacey Solomon's Sort Your Life Out. That was when the first series was launching in the UK, and I remember thinking, I think it'll kick off because it's been bigger in the States and the Far East for a while. Then it still felt quite new. Now it's
Well, you say that, but I still think it is quite new. I don't think there's a huge amount of people who are doing it certainly as well as you are. No, but genuinely, like seeing on your socials and things like that, I don't know that it is. I don't know that it's taken off that quickly here, but I think it's starting to sort of ramp up a bit.
Yeah, and it's a great thing that people can do for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, as a category, home organisation, you only have to walk in. It doesn't matter whether it's a supermarket, department store, or there's a whole home organisation department.
I watch QVC.
I watch QVC. Be kitchen, and there might be a basket, and now there are rows of it.
But I have tons of Tupperware at home. Not just Tupperware, sorting stuff. I love all
Everyone
sorting.
does.
We need to talk
Tupperware,
about that off camera.
Bottles, mugs.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So you've decided to start Rebecca's Home Store.
Yeah.
Now, if you could go back to the very beginning of it, which we're saying is
It was November 21.
21. So what's that for? God, that's 4 and a bit years ago. What would you tell? Sort of, obviously, you just had children, so you were full in on that, and that's all kind of big change to your lifestyle. But what would you tell yourself, the sort of slightly more excited or someone that's anticipating more of what's going to happen? What would you tell yourself about starting up the business? What's the one piece of advice you'd give yourself?
It's easy for me to say now.
Yeah, of course it is. Hindsight is a wonderful thing.
Be yourself.
Yes.
Trust yourself and your gut instinct. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, trust the process. Just be kind, be realistic. Don't compare yourselves to others.
Yeah.
Things don't need, it's all the sort of typical cliches. But when you're starting out and you're researching and you're looking at what others are doing, and you can fall down the comparison trap, or you're sort of thinking, oh, but they're all doing it better than me. Just take it slow.
Yeah.
You do you.
It is really good advice though, because I asked the same question to the last 4 people I've interviewed, and it's almost always the same. It's like, trust in your instinct. If you know something and you can do it well, don't look at what everybody else is doing. Just do it better than them, or equally do it as equally well as them, or offer more than they're offering, and be yourself. Because people are buying, especially your business, they're buying into you. You're in their house.
Yeah.
You're not selling them a book or a pyramid scheme. You're actually going in and changing their lives.
I guess it's true with any sort of personal, a service-based business. But when you are literally going into someone's house, going through their drawers and cupboards, you do need to feel comfortable. Yeah. And I mean, I have been on this journey, so I did fall down the comparison trap, and I think social media is a nightmare for that.
Yeah.
But I just kept going back to just be yourself, Bex. Just carry on. You're doing all right. You're doing all right. Sort of slowly, steadily. It's grown organically. I only had capacity for a couple of clients a week to start with, but also sticking to your niche. Not necessarily. That doesn't have to be in a strategic. Oh, I'm going to niche here because they're but do it your way, because I think home organisation and interior design accounts and things, they have a bad rep sometimes because they are portraying this perfection and what have you online. Don't get me wrong, I love a good before and after photo.
Oh, I love a good before and after photo.
Some pretty pantries and dressing rooms. But the reality is, and I pride myself on realistic solutions. Home organisation should be simple, maintainable, livable. It's about making your life easier at home. Yes, let's try and make it look nice and bring you joy along the way, but it doesn't have to be all this pristine, white, minimalist. My home is not minimalist at all, and it's not tidy all the time.
Yeah. But what's quite nice is you go into someone's house and actually you're giving them the tools to be able to carry on doing what you've introduced them to.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it will make their lives easier. They'll find stuff quicker. Yeah. They'll be able to buy less. They'll be able to save money. They'll be able to be less embarrassed showing people around. And what I like about it is that you do go in. I imagine you have repeat customers because we all slip back into our ways, or we have events in our lives that mean that we can't continue our sort of good habits. Yeah. But equally, I think I love the fact that you can go in and, yes, a before and after photo is fantastic. And I've seen some of them, love them. Always wanted a pantry cupboard. But equally, I think most of those people, if you went back, were probably doing some of it, if not all of it. And they might, like I said, they might slip back, but equally I mean, I'd like to chat to some of the people you've got good reviews on, great reviews on Google. From recollection, yeah. So that kind of conveniently leads neatly into the next question. What does a really good day look like for your business? And equally, what does a particularly, not so much bad day, but a difficult day? I mean, generally, we've always had the word, it's a client. A client can be good, a client can be bad. But I'm intrigued to know, for you, being such a personal business, what do the good and bad days look like?
Good day. I went into home sort because I wanted to help people fall in love with their homes again. Sounds a bit cheesy.
No,
but
I like that.
It's true, and that happens. Yeah. I've had clients cry on me.
Oh,
that's really awful to say,
really?
but that's a really good day. But it shows you the impact that you've had.
Make, yeah.
So a good day would be, going in to a client's home. They're all super lovely. And sometimes I work with them, but half the time I work alone. I just get on with it, especially if it's a non-personal room, you know, like a kitchen, utility, what have you, and take the overwhelm out of it for them. And then they sort of come back at the end of the day, review what I've done, make the decision on stuff that we might be getting rid of. Yeah. And they just, even in their face before they speak, you can see.
Just exhale. I think you just go, thank God.
You can see the impact you've had. So this job really does light me up. I don't want to go off at a tangent, but when I started the business, almost at the same time, an ex-colleague and friend got in touch and, are you working, Bex? And I did some consulting back in the toy industry, but doing the two sort of nearly killed me. Yeah. And I followed my heart. 2 kids as well, that's full on. And did the home sort role because I love the helping.
But that comes across. It comes across on your website, comes across in you as a person. I suppose the bit I'm interested in is you say you work alone a lot, or on you work on a project for them. Is there ever been a situation specifically with a bad day where they've come in and gone, oh, that's not how I do it? Or have they sort of taken on your services because they don't know how to do it, or just don't want to do it, or don't have the time to do it?
It's a real mix. So I'd say most clients, approach me because they either don't have the time to do it themselves, but might be capable, or just have no idea where to start. It's usually a mixture of the two. Touch wood. I haven't had anyone come in and go, oh.
What? Why would they? Because it can't possibly be worse. It can't possibly be worse.
It's never worse.
I mean, I was going to say your job just wouldn't exist if it was worse.
But going back to your what does a bad day look like, it can get worse before it gets better. Yeah. Now, it sounds really cheesy to say I don't have bad days anymore. But I don't have that Sunday night dread. Yeah. It's that ikigai, is it, the Japanese? Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
I think when you find something that you're good at, you love, you can get paid for, and people need, that's ikigai. Okay. And I feel lucky that that's what I'm doing now.
Brilliant.
But it does get worse before it gets better. And sometimes I've got to the middle of a session where I've pulled everything out. Well, no, I know they're coming back at the end of the day, or they're coming off call. But even it always comes together in the end. Yeah. But sometimes I look around and think, oh,
what the hell have I done?
What have I done? And I get that
made it worse.
Panic.
Yeah.
And then it is awful.
It always works out in the end. You're right that people shouldn't come back in the middle of the process, because whenever you're sorting, it always gets worse, because you've got to get it all out, right?
And that's why people don't do it themselves, because they might start something because they have an hour. Yeah. But they'll never be able to finish it.
But then they never put it back away. That's what my sister does. She'll start something and then I'll be like, oh, well, I'll just leave it there now. Anyway, that's another client for you. So this is an odd one, but when you're starting up your business, a lot of us, I mean, obviously you came from a business background, so you had a good clue about how large businesses worked. But as a small business, when you started, is there anything you Googled that was random or a bit odd or research-wise or, safe for work?
My short answer is no, which is really boring.
No, that's
really
good.
Dull. Because I've listened to some of your other podcasts and the answers to those questions. But it's kind of embarrassing. But the things that I Googled around the start, but also every now and then now I still have to Google. I'm not very good with acronyms, especially acronyms that are used on social media.
Yeah, you and me both.
And for me, especially coming from the toy industry and now having 2 kids, BTS is back to school. It's always back to school.
I thought that was a band in Korea.
BTS was always back to school.
BTS.
But actually, when people tend to use it on social media, it's behind the scenes.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
So I had to go.
Every day's a school day.
Is it IRL? I know what it means
in real life.
Yes, I know because I.
But there's loads of YOLO.
There's loads of.
Yeah, you only live once. Yeah, goat, greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think I do. So I really don't know.
Okay, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with not knowing an acronym. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there was one the other day that I couldn't remember, but I'll try and put it on Instagram, see if people know what it is. I've just learned that new one though, behind the scenes. You must use that quite a lot.
I do now.
Yeah.
Now I know what it means.
Hashtag BTS.
I was like,
it is a band though. It is a band in Korea.
It
is a band. Is that BDS?
I've never heard of them.
Oh, this is embarrassing. BYD I learned the other day. Car manufacturer. I learned that in the previous thing. Yeah. Build your dream. There you go. So we've talked about rituals as well. When you're starting up a business, obviously you've started the business. You're going into people's houses. It is a personal thing. You're not detached from their lives, from what's going on. So is there something that you do on a sort of daily basis? And we've had people say, well, they just shut themselves off in the kitchen. They have a really strong coffee. They talk to themselves in the mirror. It's all a bit odd. It is true. I allegedly go outside and stand in my bare feet every day. It's not every day.
I've always wanted to try that.
We can do it. Not here because we haven't got any glass. It'll just be that would be horrible on our,
I feel
on
like
our
I should
blocks.
do that.
Yeah. I mean, you look a bit weird. Do it in the back garden. Don't do it in the front garden. So is there any rituals that you have either before you go to work or before you go into someone's house? Or don't say take your shoes off.
Coffee.
Just
before
coffee.
I do anything. I love coffee.
Oh, good.
I have to have my morning coffee.
Yeah.
I don't always get the luxury of having it alone in peace.
Right.
But I kind of don't really do much until I've just sat down and had that coffee. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just intrigued. If you go in someone else's house, they must have coffee machines.
Yes.
Depending on where you go, some of them probably have really nice coffee machines.
By the time I get to a client, I've probably already had
full on.
two.
You need it.
I have
ready
one
to
first
go.
thing and then another on my commute.
Okay.
Listening to a podcast.
Yeah, this one.
Usually, yeah. But the other thing that I've started doing weekly, not daily, since last autumn is Pilates every Wednesday morning after I drop the kids to school. Because Wednesday's usually my admin day, desk day, or an open client. And I love it. I was hooked after 10 minutes.
It's totally different to yoga, isn't it?
Totally different.
Totally different to yoga, because I just don't think I can do yoga. I might try Pilates. Is that the thing that Helen Daniels did? No, that's Tai Chi.
No idea.
You know who Helen Daniels is?
No.
Neighbours? I'm showing my age now. But yeah, she did Tai Chi, but that's totally different.
Very
to Pilates.
different, yeah.
So, and is that, you don't do that on your own, you do that with a group of other people?
No, I do a class locally, but love it.
Brilliant. Okay, so maybe I'll take up Pilates. I might. And so we do have some people listening who are looking at starting up their own businesses. We've had some comments back about some of the things that people have said to sort of help them. So is there anything that you would say to somebody that's right now thinking about starting their own business? Obviously, we've talked about being kind to yourself, believing in your product, believing in what you have to offer. But is there something you would say to them if they're thinking of doing it? Do this or don't do this? Or
I would say just start.
Yeah.
And again, this is very easy to say in hindsight.
Of course.
I was definitely not taking my own advice 4 years ago when I was analysing which Pantone colour did I want and was that leaf right for my logo. I wanted, maybe it's because of the marketing background, but I wanted my branding, my website, my social, I wanted to print my business cards. It's like, Bex, you just need to go and get a client.
Just get in someone's house.
Just start.
Just get in someone's house.
It's a bit different because I get, if your business idea is a product, I realise there are more complexities to it and the investment and things. But if it is a sort of hands-on service, using your expertise, just start. Because that's gaining experience. It gets you content if you're wanting to use that in a creative way. And it will take so much of your own worry and overwhelm out of it. Just get going and the rest will come.
But it's interesting because a lot of people have said that. And I know when I was starting, so I similar situation, I got made redundant, and it just pushes you to go, oh, I mean, what have I got to lose? I mean, you know, I was sensible. I made sure that I wasn't putting up my house against my business. So you have to be sort of semi-sensible. But I think when you start, it's then you start to meet people. And when they discover what you're doing, Whereas before I was like, I want to make sure I've got everything right and that I present myself properly and that people aren't going to take the mickey out of me or that I'm going to deliver something that's not right. But then you just learn as you go along, right? And the mistakes,
Definitely.
people are almost more forgiving when you make those mistakes because you've just got on with it and you've shown some sort of interest in what you're doing.
It'll be really valuable if you are sort of tripping up and making mistakes. You need those experiences to
Brilliant.
better yourself.
So just get on with it.
Yeah.
And that was 4.5 years ago. And here you are. You're still getting on with it. So we've whizzed through really quickly, and there's tons more I want to talk to you about, specifically about Tupperware. Genuinely, I'll talk to you about that off camera.
I'll look forward to that.
So actually, I was just thinking of a random quickfire question, which is always to do with either toast or kebabs or something like that. But I was thinking, with the industry you're in and the work that you do, would you rather live without sellotape or a label maker? Yeah.
Easy, actually.
Go on.
You really panicked me then because I was expecting a jacket potato or chips.
No food questions, no.
I would rather live without the label maker.
Wow.
Because labels aren't for everyone.
But they're also sticky.
But sellotape is sticky, and when I have forgotten my label maker, you can use sellotape or masking tape and just write on.
Oh, you haven't got a pen?
Oh. Just stick sellotape.
So on that bombshell, I don't think I could live without sellotape either. I absolutely love sellotape.
It's more useful.
Yeah. And I discovered something else the other day, silent tape. Have you heard of it? So you know how sellotape can be really noisy in an office? They now do silent tape. So when you're pulling it open, it doesn't make that horrible noise.
Never heard of it.
Profound.
My family would appreciate that.
So that's kind of all we have time for today, which is great. I'm going to talk to you off camera tons, and we're going to put a link to if it's okay with you, put a link to your website.
Yes.
I know you're really busy at the moment, but you're always interested potentially in other clients around Oxfordshire.
Definitely.
Is that your sort of catchment?
Yeah. I'm based in Woodstock, so Oxfordshire and Cotswolds, and it's never too early to plan ahead. So spring clear out.
And so people just literally contact you. Do they have to send you a photo and go, sweet Lord, please help me?
No, it's usually a DM or an email or an inquiry form via the website, and then we'd have a video call, video chat, or I'd pop in if it's local to have an initial look around.
Brilliant. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you for coming on ClusterCast, and we will be back hopefully in a couple of weeks. Thank you. Thanks for listening to ClusterCast. If you've enjoyed today's dose of entrepreneurial honesty and mild chaos, do stick around for more. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, watch the episodes on our YouTube channel, or pop over to clusteroxford.co.uk for the full Cluster experience.